The thing that I love about the Wise Guys teams is that you guys have a knack for finding the most passionate founders. They know what they're doing, they believe in what they're doing, and nothing is going to stop them.
It is really intense, I have to say, but I really enjoy it because I feel every day I'm totally evolving in this program, and I see that I have so many weapons already.
It's challenging at times. We come with a strong background of doing a lot of things at once, but it's just amazing to be next to the teams, showing all the creativity you can to help them. So it's not something you have to deliver, it's very creative work, and that's what I'm very surprised, but I really like it.
I think the best of the difficult part always. You already know everything, but here the borders are infinite, just so much things to learn.
One of them is the passion, and the other one is how much we care about each other. Among everything, we are a team that really likes to spend time with each other, and part of that is because we all share the mission.
Because I always had a feeling that this is the family that I have.
This is not a job, this is what we love to do. I think when you can mix that one, it's great. We just have to sometimes understand that hey, there is more people around us, that we have to put some time for them.
For us, it was mainly like a crash course startup MBA, basically, kind of. It's kind of like a bottle of good wine, kind of that keeps getting better all the time.
I mean, Wise Guys team is what keeps me energized through everyday life. When I started working with the startup scene, Wise Guys was my kind of entryway, so I feel like it's a family. I'm like an adopted startup Wise girl.
I just remember one scene from the Tech Chill 2 months ago when you had the demo day with Swedbank. Nearly all the startups were nearly crying when they said goodbye to the mentors. You know, they can really feel the energy, and I think culture beats everything. And I also see Wise Guys as an execution machine.
Yeah, and people ask that why do you do that? There is no money, and very many accelerators have failed after a year or two. I believe that if you really want to do it, if it's your vision, and then you just can't give up, and you will figure it out how it works.
And you have to pitch at the big stage, right?
Yes. My hands are already shaking.
It's too easy for us because this whole month startup Wise Guys, every day we preaching. It's easy for us.
Now we are only going up, and only the sky is the limit.
This is love for what we do at the end of the day, and this is our life that we want to have.
I already know that when it's over, then I'm gonna cry.
3 minutes of station, now back to work.
Hi, welcome everyone. I hope you are pumped up and everybody is happy and excited to be with us here. So it's Louise from Startup Wise Guys here. I will be your host of today, and we will be talking about our first ever Wise Guys XR program. I have with me here 3 amazing people. I will let them each introduce themselves and explain why they are here, and then we can kick it off with questions and everything else. So Daria, starting with you.
Thank you so much. I'm Daria, and I'm the scouting manager at Startup Wise Guys. So all the startups that apply go through, well, not exactly through me, but still from my department, and I am happy to share whatever is bothering you, whatever you want to know about the scouting process.
Thank you. Maria.
Hello. I'm going to lead the program. I'm the managing director of the Startup Wise Guys XR batch that is happening in Malaga. We will talk about the technicalities about online and offline, but I'm basically the one responsible for first looking for the perfect teams to join the accelerator, and that's why we're here right now. We're inside of the scouting season, and then when we join, when we make the investment and gather as a batch, I will be the one making sure that my founders are going through the drill in the best possible pace.
Awesome, thank you. And Andre?
Hi, and I'm Andrei Lunev. I'm venture partner XR at startup Wise Guys. So I'll be supporting Maria and Daria in their day job, connecting with founders, investors, addressing some technicalities of the XR because it's technology-driven innovations. Basically connecting people and use cases and helping selected teams to succeed through the program later on. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. I thank you all for introductions. I know that we are having a small issue with LinkedIn, but I hope everybody will be redirected to YouTube. So I'm in the background solving this while that happens. I think we can already start with kind of diving into why XR in general. So why this program, what it means. Maybe Maria, you can start with it, and then Andrei, you can add on top. So the potential of it, and yeah.
Yeah. I guess one of the things is that XR is finally taking its place on the market in terms of perception. I think that ever since COVID hit, so the opinion about it before has been that it's somewhere in the future. It's something that we will sometime appropriate, but right now there is only the case for using it for specific use cases, and everything else is more or less entertainment or like marketing appropriation of the technology and so on. But I think my personal experience for 2020, when everything just started, was people actually coming to me as an expert in the field and asking, okay, so what now? We actually think that finally you guys are going to bring this to a bigger audience and a bigger use, right? So I think that there is a definite trend of changing the perception of this not being the futuristic technology, but actually happening here and now. And also there is a big drive in strengthening the hardware, strengthening the technological set. And I guess my main purpose was creating the accelerator that can help businesses in early stage within this vertical is to create even bigger space, to create more fundamental baseline for the startups to start elevating each other, for the startups to start elevating the technology and vertical per se, and showing what is the practical use, what is the real life purposeful inventions or implementations. Why now? I think it's actually been a while since it was needed on the market. So finally, we're here to start this and create a global accelerator, scouting the best talent in the field.
Yeah, if I may chip in here. So I think what we're missing so far, in particular in Europe, is the center of gravity for that industry, and we aim to build that around connections and products between startups, their customers, and investors. So in terms of why now, like the post-COVID moved us, everyone, into digital space, and we started to spend a lot of time in those digital realities while actually breathing with data, like we exhaling data as we go through those realities. And the best way to use that data and actually communicate to others, people, you need to capture them and then to communicate within the context of our interactions. So now we are in the metaverse, effectively on the same web page, and the joining through the video stream. However, what we saw over the last couple of months, that there are better ways to connect with people. So I'm really missing the audience, like not seeing. I see some comments in the chat. Hello, Isabel. Hello, guys. But I wish I'd be able to see everyone here. Then on the other side, those startups, it's a very challenging to startup founder to articulate what he is doing if he does something in virtual reality or augmented reality, because in order even to demonstrate the technology, you need to have a set of devices on the both sides. As Maria said, like recently, Oculus Quest reached 10 million. We assume that it reached 10 million installed base on the consumer space, and then all enterprise customers, they started to explore, let's say, virtual worlds at least on the 2D screen. And then once you enter this space, like the next shift is inevitable to shift to either, well, we won't see like augmented reality glasses as light as those within, I don't know, 5-10 years probably, but we can do something with those devices which is actually very efficient and very helpful, particularly in the legacy use cases of extended reality, which is so for B2B, it's entertainment, of course, gaming and art, visual and audio art. Then in terms of B2B use cases, it's design and visualization, which is very helpful for engineering and for sales. It's training and simulations that helps elevate your workforce and bring it up to speed faster. And then, well, post-COVID, it's like remote support and bringing the compute to the frontline workers became a driver of the industry, actually. So like the team viewer deploying smart glasses and then people experimenting with, let's say, networking and team building in virtual worlds.
I will also add here that probably one of the fields where we're also super interested to see the grow is the UX, whatever, change or implementation, scalability, some sort of design solutions and software solutions around XR, enabling the technology and a broader use for it would be super interesting as well.
Yeah.
I'm also listening to you guys. I'm like, oh, next time we do the Q&A with the audience in virtual reality and we actually get to meet all of them. So that's maybe something that will come out of this program. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys. And for the audience, I see that everybody is slowly finding us. So good to hear that. There was a small glitch for everyone who joined now, but I know that everything's solved and everything's smooth and running. So we are here. All of these awesome people are here to answer any of your questions about the Wise Guys XR program. So feel free wherever you are watching, be it LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. The comments section of this stream is the place where to put your questions. So that's why we are here to cover anything you want to know. So write it there. We see them and we will answer them. So yeah, you already covered a little bit in this kind of intro why XR and whom are we looking for this bit. But maybe we can, so the program itself, Maria, this is for you. What are the most important dates that everyone who's watching, they need to put them in those calendars so they don't miss the most important parts? So what is the application deadline, when the program is taking place, and maybe a little bit on how the program will happen. So we have a connection with Malaga. So maybe you could cover those things now.
Sure. So the application ends on April 21, so you actually don't have that long to jump on board. Unfortunately, the, let's say, geopolitical situation has made some shifts into our scheduling, because for some time, basically people were a little bit off the startup investment and, the conversation that would usually actually be picking up, because right now is a very big season for people to look for the new opportunities, especially in investment and acceleration. So the preliminary dates for us to start the program is May 16th. Yet we will see, I guess, in the next 2 weeks what is happening with the volumes of applications. And this is actually a very good time for you guys to apply, because we will basically get you on board with the process and the funnel really fast. But yeah, so the program is starting in May. It's taking place in Malaga. And if you don't mind, I will jump into the most popular question of what is happening in terms of online and offline. In Startup Wise Guys, since COVID hit, we had to rethink how we see the acceleration program. Before this, we have been doing them only offline, and the teams would come together in the place where we're located, and they would spend 3 months going through this extensive program. Right now, we had to adjust. So for some time, we've been doing this only online, but now we're doing a hybrid format, which means that for at least 6 to 8 weeks per program, you will need to be on site with all the teams, the batch team in Malaga, because that's the location, and the partner Polo Digital, who we have in Malaga, is hosting us there. It's going to be interesting weeks. I'm looking forward to that. So the biggest part of content is happening online. You will have some weeks fully dedicated to the accelerator. Sometimes you can manage to combine, and we will also have the break weeks. We call them implementation weeks. And yeah, so from May till October, we're going to have the batch, and I'm really, really looking forward to meeting some of you who are still doubting. Just apply and talk to us.
Just apply, and then Daria will be the person who will decide your destiny. So your first touch point when you go on our website, so startupwiseguys.com/xr, there you can read more, and there's this magic apply button, which leads you to Daria and our scouting team. So April 21st, but don't wait till the end, and Daria will remind you why. But so maybe on this, Daria, you could take us through the whole application process before we dive deeper in the program itself. So what happens when I click the apply button? What can I expect? What's happening then?
Your whole world is about to change. But no, first you have to fill in the application. You will have to answer some questions. Don't overthink it. The main idea of it is for us to understand what you're doing and how your business is doing as well. And after you submit the application, it usually takes us about a couple of days to evaluate. We will also most likely reach out to you with some questions. So keep an eye on our platform. We communicate there. And after this, we decide, because obviously we have some criteria that we need to check. So usually for us, it's is business B2B or not? Do you have working product or not? And what is the state of your team? How many people you have? How many co-founders? And so on. Our eligibility criteria is working product, because during the acceleration program, we accelerate sales, and technically you need to have something tangible to sell. Otherwise, you don't really get the full potential of the team, of the program, sorry. And after we have evaluated you and we see that there is potential, we usually invite you to the pitch day. During the pitch day, you present your business, standard 3-minute pitch with some slides. You see a lot of familiar faces, as you can see in front of you, except for Luisa. And we call them the jury panel. And they ask you some questions that are left unanswered during your presentation. And after that, we basically, within the team, we make a decision what are the next steps. The next steps can be either we proceed with our due diligence process, you go for the managing director call, and then you have one-on-one with Maria. Yeah. Then you will also have the tech due diligence. You talk to our geek in residence, because we do invest obviously in team and people, but you need to have scalable tech, because as soon as you get into the accelerator, you start sales, and then your tech gets overcrowded with all of those customers that you're getting. So it needs to be in the mint condition so you can scale as fast as possible without any glitches. And after that, you might have a conversation with Andrei as well. This step we decide on case-by-case basis. And if you go through the whole process and we see the great potential, you like us, we like you, we invite you to the final step of the process for you, is the Selection Bootcamp. It's first you do the product demos. Basically, you again have very familiar faces on your screen. It happens over Zoom, and you present your tech. You do the demo and you show, pretending that we're your customers, how it works, what kind of functionalities you have, and explain to us what it is that you're doing. And then again, you get asked some questions, and then you have one-on-ones with the jury panel. Depending on how many people we have, it can take about the whole day. So the morning, it's a couple of hours for us to hear all the demos of all the startups who are invited. And to each bootcamp, we invite about 10 startups. We, during the program, run about between 2 to 4 bootcamps. It depends how many applications we have. And our final goal is to get between 10 to 12 startups within the program. After the bootcamp, we take some time to discuss with the team and the partners. Who can we help? Who makes the most sense to get accepted to the program? And then we reach out to the selected startups with the next steps, and then the negotiations begin for the term sheet and or the contract already. If you at any step don't get selected, then most likely you will get invited to the pre-accelerator program. That means that we see potential, but the stage of your business is not yet there to get accepted to the full-time acceleration, because as I mentioned, you need to be in the right place within your business to start sales. So you need to have a clear vision where you're going. We need to see that you're providing the most you can for your potential customers, and you need to have some traction. If not, then we send you to the pre-accelerator, where you get a lot of tools and mentoring, how to find your place in the world of the startups. And after that, we still keep an eye on you. And if you progress well, you have a lot of chances to get into the next acceleration program. And maybe it depends. If you will be interested, then we have a lot of B2B programs, but at the same time, we will probably have another XR program in the future. So we will keep you in the back of our minds and reach out to you when we see something that can be beneficial for you.
I just maybe, want to add that all of this is actually happening online. It has been like that for 2 years and a bit right now. But for this scouting season, we actually have an opportunity to see you offline. We're going to be at Laval Virtual, and we're going to host an offline pitch day there. This is probably the first time we're actually announcing this. So if you are at the conference, or if you're planning to go to the conference, please reach out. We will do some offline activities, and you will have a chance to meet our team.
Yeah, so also keep an eye on our social media. We will share more information there. If you're already watching, and if you're by any chance not following us, click the follow button, and you will get the updates. But yeah, for sure, that is happening as well. I think it's pretty cool to get the chance to actually meet people on site, and then you get to ask to Andrei and Maria, you actually get to ask questions them on site. So yeah. I wanted to. So Daria, you went through the selection criteria, but two extra things on those that usually get asked. One of those: what if a person is a solo founder but they have built? So what's the case there? Because we always say that we are looking for teams. What would be your comment, add on? How do you see that happening?
I would say you should apply. You go through the selection process and see if there is a match between us. And then usually we do, rarely, but we do exceptions accepting solo founders. But usually within the first part of the program, you have a KPI of finding someone who will join your team. It's not because we don't like solo founders, but imagine doing business alone is very hard. You put on top of that a full-time acceleration that is quite time demanding and also brain demanding. You just need a partner who will be with you throughout this whole process, who will help you brainstorm and build the best business you can. So don't hesitate, apply and see how it will go. And if not, then we still can talk to you a bit later, but you already have your foot in the door and we will know about you, and we might ask you to find some potential partner, co-founder, and then we can continue the negotiations and conversations from there.
Yeah, and the experience shows you never know. Maybe during a selection process, we actually find a good match for you and someone you can work with together. So that has also happened. So if you're interested,
we already see a couple teams who would benefit working with each other. Actually,
yeah,
through through the selection process itself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another very important reason why not to wait till April 21st to apply, but do it now. I see also a couple of people watching us on LinkedIn and then sharing their companies and everything. Well, please go to startupwiseguys.com/XR and hit that apply button, and definitely we are interested to talking with you and hearing more about your startups.
Yes, I wanted to add, sorry, that any way you approach us, you will always be redirected to that magic apply button. So do apply. And as I have mentioned, you probably counted the steps. There are quite a few touch points with our team that you will have to have. And obviously it takes time. And as soon as you apply, you are already in the pipeline. We're already talking to you. And it will be a much smoother process even for you and us to have all those touch points without any rush. And at the same time, you start getting feedback because obviously each call you have, you are talking to some expert within their own field, and it's a conversation. It's not like you are interrogated by us and we just get answers from you. It's all a conversation. So you start getting all the feedback you can even within that selection process. So don't postpone it. Don't wait for the deadline. We all know that those incentivize us the most. But start applying now and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I see some questions coming in. Before we jump into that question, one more.
That sometimes happens with Louisa.
Why now? Do you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry. Yes, marketing, I wanted to ask about geography, because that's another part of kind of the selection process that is being covered. Before we jump into, we see your questions coming in. So are there any geographical restrictions to...
Your audio broke up again, but I can repeat the question for Maria and Daria. So do we have any geographical limitations in terms of joining? We had a discussion recently, but could you elaborate?
So due to the geopolitical situation, we had to put on extra processes. So now we have more due diligence for the teams that are coming from Russia and Belarus. It doesn't mean that we will not work with you, but we do have some questions we will ask first. Most importantly, we pay attention to the businesses having any business deals in Russia, obviously also due to all the sanctions that countries are now getting. It puts obstacles in front of us. So you need to also have a valid way to stay in the Europe for the duration of the program. So it can be a residence permit in some country, it can be a long-term visa, anything that will allow you to be in Spain for 5 months of the program. And also, you shouldn't have shareholders or stakeholders in your business that are currently residing or doing business in Russia or Belarus, unfortunately. It puts extra steps for the teams who are coming from there, but we still want to help founders who obviously don't support the aggression for Ukraine from Russian side. And if all the checkboxes are matched, and then we will be more than happy to work with teams coming from those regions. If we put aside the geopolitical perspective of this, we are working with teams from any country who are interested in opening European region and then growing global after that.
Yeah, thank you. I should not be breaking up anymore. Sorry for that. Yeah, so we have one question. It is a bit for a kind of later stage something, but let's cover it. And Maria, maybe you can take it. So a question from VR Next. Can we describe the criteria for the follow-on funding and convertible note, everything? But maybe Maria, yeah, you can take us through.
Yeah, well, I can at least cover partially and then note where to look for the other answers. So first off, we have not covered the deal itself yet, so maybe let me start with this. We're looking at 90,000 euros deal of investment into the startups on the pre-seed stage, which get the 30K cost of the program. So we have already talked about the geographies, but you also need to understand that for the legal process that stands behind the investment, we also have some specific jurisdictions with which we prefer to work, which means that coming out of Estonia, the startup Wise Guys is always pioneering the e-government and all the perks that it has. It's probably one of the best ways for you to go, at least on the early stages and then on. But we also work with jurisdictions that are, let's say, widely used internationally. So the UK, the US, and a couple more in the European Union. Does this mean that we will not work or not invest if you have another jurisdiction? We can, but you need to understand that the legal costs will go also to the startup to actually make sure that the deal is fully accomplished within the jurisdictions and everything complies. Since we're having this program in Malaga, does not require you to absolutely must have the Spanish legal entity. We can work with the named above. So as to the follow-ons, Startup Wise Guys has a quite good track record. 50% of our startups get the follow-on investments. It's one of the highest on the market from the pre-seed accelerators, and we're actually working a lot in terms of matchmaking our startups with the future investors, working with our network of investors, doing the graduation day, presenting the pitch decks to the investors when the teams are ready for their seed rounds. So the criteria is you need to be hardworking, performing well, show us the dynamics, month over month growth, really kicking ass in terms of building your business, expanding to new locations. Our strong suit is European expansion. So from wherever you're coming, if you want to enter the European market, we are your wise guys and girls. In terms of the convertible notes, the legal terms in when we're putting the deal and so on, we are doing an investment on the convertible. And you need to understand that basically what we will do, we will assess each business one by one, and we will do our due diligence process within the product that we're looking at. And those terms will be discussed with you prior your participation in the bootcamp. Because when you're coming to the bootcamp, our investment committee needs to know what's on the table. What is the deal? What's the situation? Do we see the potential in the market, in the founders, and will it work? Last note, if you will have some deeper questions, we have a number of legal Q&As that were also recorded and can share with some of the participants of our scouting, and we can consult when it comes to that discussion.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that. So if you have any other questions, anyone who's listening, a kind reminder, as you saw, we see your incoming questions on our side. So please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments wherever you are watching. And one comment from actually one of our mentors nicely lets me slide into the next part of what I wanted to cover about our program. So I'm Will Shovit. Hi, Patrick. Thank you for watching. For anyone who is watching this stream, Patrick is one of our mentors and expert on LinkedIn, so you get to actually work a lot with him. He will teach you a lot of things. So follow his advice. Don't wait too long and apply now. But so on the program note, I wanted to ask you, Maria, to cover the program itself, because besides the investment, there's a program 5 months, as you explained it at the beginning. So 5 months full of content, full of workshops, one-on-ones. So maybe you can take us through a little bit what kind of topics, what kind of directions do we cover during the program, how the whole setup is happening, different kinds of ways, how people get to work with mentors and connect with our network. And
absolutely. Well, I will start from it's no vacation. You will need to work. Those 5 months. But yeah, well, there are, there are perks to it, definitely. But you do need to understand that this is intense. Just like we've shown in the opening video, some of our founders call it an MBA on steroids. Some of our founders do think that this has crucially transformed their business and their understanding of how you run a startup, how you become scalable, how you become a diverse, culture-driven startup and business in the end of the day. So from the program point of view, our usual programs have 4 pillars, but since we're talking about XR, there's going to be an extra. The original 4 pillars that we have are covering the company building. So it's operations, human relations, it's your culture, the drive behind your mental capacity, helping you become a sustainable founder, sustainable team. Another one is sales, and hello, the startups that will apply will get an MD that is leading the sales blueprint in Startup Wise Guys. So I will personally work with you and drill you a lot in terms of how we do sales, why, where, who, and like all the interesting questions about the existence of your business and how you see your market fit. In addition to that, we do a fundraising vertical in our startup accelerator, and we do a lot of pitching. So you will be ready for online pitch, you will be ready for stage pitch. We will cover it all. With that said, I do want to give some incentives in terms of you do need to consider that we will talk to a couple of interesting events, and by the end of the program, we actually think that we can pull it off and bring you on stages at some of the conferences. So that's just something for you to think about. And then the fifth, the shiny new part of this will be the XR component. I will invite quite a number of coaches and mentors from within the XR vertical who have built XR businesses, worked with large enterprise, smaller B2B customers. We will take them to suit your particular needs and questions. That's basically my job in this accelerator.
Yeah, and I think Andre here will also put his own addition, especially on the network effect.
Basically, I have two things to add here. First, on XR expertise. Yes, we are connected with, I think, the best investors and mentors available for the industry, and they are willing to work with startups. Not only, primarily after they selected into the program, but actually even the application to the program give you certain visibility to those people and ability to connect. Because I do know, like, sometimes like we see the team sees us, and then eventually the deal can fall apart, but you still remain the part of our circle. Then going back to the MBA and steroids, like the program as equity-based program, it has a cost, and we need to acknowledge that. You receive 60,000 cash, and then the rest of our contribution is a knowledge and expertise. But we are here to build this program tailored to XR startups first, and then, unlike your professor in whatever business school, we put money in your business, and we are inherently incentivized for you to succeed and bring you to the next stage as fast as possible. So I would say this acceleration program would at least save you 3 to 6 months in your normal development if you don't join any program. And in the end of the day, our goal for our teams to be able to raise the next round of investment of 500,000 plus after the program, and preferably by the end of the year. So we are really talking about pushing you forward on the weekly basis and not talking bullshit. Sorry for my language, but we want you to move ahead as fast as possible. And sometimes one of the main things that you can get out of the program is to bring it back to the focus and see the struggle of the people who are working along your side in other teams, and also like being in that safe space where you can share your learnings and get support again on weekly basis. It's super helpful, because the startup journey and entrepreneurial journey could be very lonely, and we bring you into the family of people who build in the same direction. They're working as hard as you do, and and you collecting insights and creating the shared intelligence with this within the program. This is the part that excites me the most, I think.
And on top of that, after you graduate, you still are a part of the community, and we as Wise Guys always say that we will be with you throughout the whole duration of your business, and even after, because we stay in contact. Obviously, we're incentivized, but we're also really eager to help you. Whatever happens, we are there for you. You can reach out to us. We obviously within the team have a lot of entrepreneurial experience. Whatever is happening to you, probably someone within our team has been through something similar, and we will be much happy to help you at any time of your journey of the startups. And as we all know, it takes between 7 to 9 years. So, it's we are in this for the long term.
I will just add that last year I was leading the SaaS Tallinn batch. And well, we thought that was the last one, but here we are. And I'm still talking to all my founders. And we actually check in at least once a month to see how everyone's doing, if I can help them with any interests or, sales advices. It's just something that we do. We have a network of over, I think, 600 founders already, and you will get access to it. It's a huge pool of talent and feedback and just generally support. And then plus to it, we're also with over 300 mentors in our network that you will have access to, depending on your needs, depending on the bottlenecks that you have right now. It's all there. That's one of the main things, our people.
Exactly. One quick Slack message away from you. So if you, that's how close you get, and you get like it's amazing. You can get advice and from people from all over the industries, whatever question, all of it is there for you. So we are slowly going towards the end. So if you still have any questions, please, this is your last chance. Kind of drop them in the comments wherever you are watching. We have one question from Jeff, who's watching us on LinkedIn, about the fintech startup. So this program might not be for you, but but we have a fintech program coming up. So please go check our website. There we will be, of course, also announcing things in our social media. So if you follow us, you will see it. But you can, if I'm not mistaken, you can even now go to startupwiseguys.com/fintech, and there's an apply button, and you will drop somewhere in the funnel and Daria will sort you through and will lead you to the correct panel and to direct to the right team from Startup Wise Guys, who's going to be working with fintech. So, and we just started our first SaaS Africa program, so super happy to have people from many places watching here now. So yeah, just follow us, apply, and we will find a place for you. I wanted to, this got me distracted a little bit. I had a question in mind. Damn it, lost it.
Don't worry, I will just add that this year we're going to run 10 programs. So if you think that you would like to join the family, you will probably find the right the right approach to us. We're focusing on B2B, that's and software. Let's put it that way. Although in sustainability, we do make exceptions. So.
Yeah, so right now we have applications open for XR program, SaaS Milan program, and Cyber Accelerator running from Italy as well. So, and we will launch other programs soon. Yeah, I would like us to, towards the end, also cover again, remind the dates and when what is happening. We also have a question from Firat. So Maria, maybe you could remind all the most important dates and when what is happening online versus on-site.
Okay. So the applications close on April 21. The projected start is May 16. And you need to understand that our office and the team that sits in Malaga is available from then on. So basically, you can already pack if you think that's going to be beneficial, and I strongly suggest that you think that way. You can come and sit with us in Malaga. Although we do understand that there are different conditions and COVID is still present in our lives in one way or another. So we will have required weeks that you need to spend with us in Malaga. And it's basically going to be in the beginning of the program and in the end of it. More things will be shared with those that are already, going through and are either at the final steps of the selection or have been accepted.
Yeah. So in end of May, already on site Malaga. That sounds nice.
Yes.
So even
One
though
more thing.
Yes.
One more thing is I would like to remind that we're going to be at Laval Virtual, and we want to have the offline pitch day there. And maybe a small incentive is that we can even get you invites in form of tickets, but you will need to reach out to us and see that for yourself.
Yeah, and besides that, so already next week we are having a live online panel with 3 awesome startups from AR VR industry. 2 of them even our own alumni. So April 5 p.m. Baltic time, so it's 4 p.m. Central Eastern time. We will have 3 startups and Maria talking with them. So please join us then as well. You will not only get to hear about how to build a business in this industry and how to succeed, but you can also ask your questions to those founders also about our program. So use that opportunity, and we will have also another panel with investors on April 19th as well. We will be launching that one soon on our socials, so please follow. And it's just extra information, extra goods and bits to hear and get to know also a little bit of our network, to which you will get even closer access if you apply and if you get selected for the program. Yeah, that's just kind of a sneak peek there. Yeah.
2 things from me. First of all, as I've mentioned at the beginning, please apply now and think later. Just start the process and see how it goes. And also I can see a question about the pre-accelerator, and I thought I will mention that yes, there are applications open. There is a link at our webpage. There is yet another magic apply button. And we usually do the mixed cohorts for the pre-accelerator. So it doesn't matter which vertical you're in, you can apply. If you are eligible for the pre-accelerator, we will put you in the nearest one. And then you get, based on what you're doing, you get to meet people who are in charge of specific vertical within our team. So for instance, even if you get into the next pre-accelerator that we'll be launching, you still get to meet Maria and have a conversation and get a potential invite to the upcoming program. So if you are at least in any way interested, just press that magic apply button. Even if you go into the wrong room, we from our side will still direct you where we see the best potential or make you 1 or 2 offers you can't resist. Just apply.
We have many things happening, even besides accelerators. So, but that's another Q&A, another conversation. So there are a lot of things happening. If you're interested in working with us, interested in working with these amazing people that have joined me here today for the Q&A, then please apply. Application deadline for XR program, April 21st. Don't wait, apply now, and we will be happy to talk to you. And yeah, I think if you have any other questions, then also that's the way how to get your answers. Please apply, but of course you can also reach out to us on our socials. That's me there on the other way, on the other side of them. So if I will receive your questions, I will make sure that you get your answers. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Daria, Andre, Maria, for joining me today. I would like for the end to show a quick sneak peek in one of the after movies from our batches that we had last year. So you will get to hear from a couple of founders, even though you can see in the, especially for those watching in LinkedIn, we also have our founders who joined the Q&A, and they're sharing beautiful things about how they did during the batch. So you can even reach out to them and ask their experience if you want to. Our alumni are always happy to share how it was for them. But yeah, that's it from us today. So thank you guys for joining me, and let's dive into the movie and see you next week for the startup panel. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. See you in Laval as well.
All right, everybody ready?
Wait. I think we missed.
Hi, my name is Alexa, and I'm the MD of the batch. My brightest memory of the batch is connected to the progress day, when teams were supposed to share a little bit of the personal information before the official pitch, and the most serious person of this batch takes the guitar and starts singing.
So there was this Friday meeting with the startups, and for some reason, all of us decided to wear hats on that day. A psychologist was supposed to join us half an hour later, and when she did, she quite quickly understood that she's in the right place.
SWG has been fun. It's been interesting, it's been crazy.
The thing that we learned is how to do a lot of things at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Just like this.
I met a lot of friends, a lot of mentors, a lot of great people, but my favorite memory is Ringy's dance video.
During one of the first kind of remotely held parties that we had a magician over that was doing some crazy magical tricks over Zoom. All of the batch members watching him, laughing, bonding, like that image will always stick with me. That was the day we kind of started bonding as a batch.
I would say the team from Wise Guys made it greatly, that we were engaged, we got a lot of feedback, we got a lot of cool stuff, and we had a nice community.
Our journey has been pretty much like a Chasing Unicorns movie. We learn something, or we find out something new, and then we pivoted. Despite having a 100% online accelerator, we still feel very connected with our batch members, and the dance battles were awesome, and we're definitely gonna miss you guys.
Probably in the moments like this, it's already a little bit past midnight, preparing myself for tomorrow's pitch session.
But perhaps really the best memories are the times when we were helping each other out and working together as a team.
Awesome to work with other startup founders. You get to see other problems. Everybody is at a little bit different stage. We loved it and we were successful. So join Startup Wise Guys.
Amazing journey for us, and I would say how we supported each other and how we were like a family every time we had a news, when we had a success, and when we had the investor news. Thank you so much.